Well, this morning, the Global Heart Vision is, for May, our theme is spiritual guidance and personal responsibility. We believe that any person may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. Close contact with the indwelling God. Everyone is imbued with all the qualities of God. There's nothing outside of God. God is all. And as such, we are open to the truth of our being. We reveal what we already are, a divine expression of the one life that God is. It could be no other way. As Wayne Dyer says, if you have a pie that's apple pie and you take a slice of that pie, what is the slice? It's still apple pie. Just like the drops of the ocean, if you were to take a thimbleful and look at the qualities, and then look at the qualities of a bucket of the ocean, they would be the same qualities. Because just because it's taken out of itself doesn't change its quality. And we are expressing as the billions of fragments of the self. Just as if I was to take this piece of paper and put some holes through it and put my fingers through so you could see my fingers on this side, this is what this plane of existence is, my fingers through the paper. But if you look at the other side, it's all the hand. It's all one. There is that within every individual which partakes of the nature of the universal wholeness, and insofar as it operates, is God. But it's only ours when we act the part. There's a lot of things on the internet and in the newspaper and on TV that are of people not acting the part. And have you ever not acted the part? Yeah, I've not acted the part at times. But when we are in close contact with the infinite, what we believe, and we bring ourselves into that perfect alignment, and we know it, something happens. There's a click, a feeling of being in the zone. You ever been in the zone? Like you woke up and you were like, oh, wow, something is working today. Something is firing on all sectors today. My synapses, I think, are connected today. And things start to fall into place for your day. So the basis from which man is evolving is infinite. We spring from an infinite spring of source. There is not source and something else. There is source as everything else. And if you want to see your contact with the infinite, you don't have to look very far. And actually, it's more than just contact. You're not just contacting something, like downloading something. You are the computer. You don't just need to be downloaded something that's outside of yourself. You let something out from within. This is how it works. It doesn't work the other way. You know, our whole life we're taught that it's all out there and we have to get it in here. You know, go out there and make something of yourself. Go out there and get an education and a job and go get a family. But there's no getting, actually, because everything out there is pointing you back in here. At times, we are freely creating the life we live. The ability, consciously and specifically, to better our lives depends on our degree to which we are able to believe in our basic concepts of the nature of life with faith. With faith. Ouch. It's always that little last word, you know, our faith. your belief. So what is a belief? Be in life. What is your be in life belief? It is a thought that you have been contemplating over and over and over again, and it solidifies in your life as reality. But what if what you thought you believed wasn't the truth? What if you've been living your life a certain way because of a false truth that you were told as a child or even a young adult or maybe just yesterday? That wasn't the truth, but you believed it to be the truth. And if we lived that way, and then suddenly we found out that it wasn't that way, how long would it take you to change your mind about that belief? If you were told that on Christmas, packages came from this guy that came down the chimney, we would believe that. I mean, some of us still believe to a degree. But there comes a time when we start to believe something greater. Not to diminish our belief, but to change and transform our belief into something bigger. And I call it the aha experience. When we found out something was not the way we thought it was, or we didn't know how something worked, and all of a sudden we got to that point of revelation, and we learned how things worked, and we went, that's how that works. I have to change my MO. I have to change my BS, my belief system. What were you thinking? You have to change. If you were under this understanding that everyone was out to get you, and you lived in that way, the world would feel like a very unsafe place. And that's not the truth. But some people believe in that so that they approach life with the energy that everyone is out to get them. And what do you think they attract? You get what you think about all day. Energy flows where your attention goes. And if your attention is on what's not working, the universe is always going to say yes. Let me show you how the law works. Let me show you situations in your life that don't work even greater so that we can prove your prayer, which is that life is out to get you. And if we live that way long enough, life becomes out to get us. But once we hear somebody say, hey, life is not out to get you. Say, well, I don't know. It's been out to get me for a long time, or it feels that way. But all we need is to tip the scale to the 51 percentile to have it slide all the way back over to belief. And I just ask you, what do you believe is your reason for your experience here, your life? Not like, like today you're here to go to this center to have a talk, but what is your gift? What do you bring to this thing called life? And all of us have a gift to give. And if we were done giving the gift, we wouldn't be here. So what is yours to give? What is your close contact with the infinite that you can get yourself out of the way and Tai Chi the energy through? Well, this afternoon, our house band Insight's going to play, and I hope you can stay for it. We have a bunch of new material, but I'm just in awe of every time the band learns a new song because it's a song that's original and never been heard before, where does it come from? Where does a new song come from? Where does creation come from? Out of the blue, right? Where's the blue? Yeah, inspiration in spirit. It is that same power, the top of the emblem there, where everything is put into our consciousness to decide. It is God. An idea comes and we bring it into the middle section, the spirit of wholeness, the soil, the soul. And something happens to our idea. The forces of the universe act upon it in some way. We really don't know. We'll spend our whole existence trying to figure it out because we want to know, right? Our minds want to know how it works. Just like when you put a seed in the ground, what happens? What is the magic there? How is it contacted with the infinite that it knows? How does it know, this little seed, to send up a leaf and down a root? That's genius. It's just incredible. But it knows somehow because it was put into the soil, and then it becomes a manifestation in the bottom. And then it repeats over and over again. The leaf does its photosynthesis, and at the end of its life it dries up and dies and falls to the ground. And the leaf then becomes the mulch that grows the next rows. It's an incredible system. It's a great recycling system of the universe. You think about how your body works and the miles of tubes and all the veins and all the electricity and everything that works to make our body be able to function. I mean, what an incredible miracle each one of us is. Can there be a closer contact to the infinite than being in awe of what we can do? So, each one of us being a different flavor of God, if you will, we all get to decide how we're going to express that. You get to decide your own favorite color, unless you're still, you were given a favorite color by your parents and you still have that one. Like your political party or your fill in the blank. Because we do that, we do that. People recommend things to us and we say, oh, I'd like to try that. Somebody recommended that you went to this church, probably. Or somehow you got information about something new thought that was pivotal to you, that said something to you. So, being in close contact with God, we are it. We are it. There is only one life, and this life is divine, and we must be part of that one life. It can be no other way. Logically, there is no way we could not be part of this one life. We can imagine that we are, and we can pretend that we are, and pretending is very powerful because the infinite will get along, will help us and go, oh, let me show you how you think you're not part of this life. And all the indicators will come showing you that you're not, even though you can never not be. Because the infinite gives us complete choice. You get to choose what your belief is. The drop of water is still the ocean. The ocean is made up of drops of water. We are drops of God, expressing as we choose to be. So our life is our belief. And how do we change our belief? We have to know first what we believe. What do you believe? And it's up to you. That's what I love about this teaching. We don't tell you exactly what the infinite is. You get to make up your own energy about that. You get to call it whatever you want. God, Christ consciousness, Jesus the Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever. Source, infinite intelligence, the G-O-D, the big G, whatever you want. The doorknob. But nobody's going to say, oh, that's the wrong way to be. Because there is no wrong in this. You know, I had the challenge of being a perfectionist when I was growing up, and I thought that if I wasn't going to do something perfect, I wasn't going to do it. So I didn't do anything because I couldn't do it perfectly. And then, you know, somebody told me a ship in his harbor is safe, but that's not why ships are built. You know, the one-liners that get you, you know, like, oh, you know, a person that doesn't have mistakes doesn't have a life. But if we have mistakes, we also have triumphs. We have things that work. And it is because of that close contact, when we are in alignment in that zone, and not only contacting the infinite, but being the infinite in divine form in this plane of existence. As we align with truth, we reveal truth as the close contact, as God in form. There is within us something that knows truth. Consider how we learn things. Can a teacher or minister or practitioner or anyone make us know the truth? Sit down, I'm going to make you know the truth. It's something that has to be revealed as who and what you are. There comes a point when you read all the books on riding a bicycle, but until you get yourself on the bike and start to pedal and feel the steering and pedaling in combination and the balance of that you can actually ride a bike. And we all had training wheels. Well, most of us did. But it was those training wheels that helped us, oh, I'm riding a bike, until we could get up on our own. And then there comes a point when the training wheels come off, when we go it alone. You know, that freedom of like not being, on your training wheel. For a while, I was like, cool, I could ride a bike. I was on 3 wheels thinking I was doing it. And then my dad took them off, and boy, I wiped out. We all had some wipeouts, but that's part of riding the bike, is falling down. And if we have enough falling down, we get to the point where we know we don't want to do that, so we really try to balance ourselves and ride the bike because it hurts to fall down. But sometimes that's what it takes. And what I know about life is that when we work smarter and not harder, we don't fall down as much. Now, I'm not saying falling down doesn't have to happen. It does happen, but we don't have to fall as hard or for as long, especially when we introduce the infinite and we act as though it's already so. If you could pretend you were balancing and riding a bike, it would help you. But if you don't know how to pretend, it's difficult when you're in that in-between state. So there is that within us that knows how to learn things. As we more often align with this inner wisdom, we live and reveal the divine expression of the life that we are. When we get to the point where we realize that prayer, meditation, and visioning can assist us, and we can go there quickly. It used to be I waited until there was a challenge to pray. When something bad happened, oh, please, God, please help me. I'll go to church every Sunday if you just help me with this one. But now I get up in prayer. I do everything as a prayer. And I realize that we're never not praying. What if you knew that every word you said was a prayer? Think about it. And this took me a little while to think before I spoke. Because if everything I'm saying is a prayer, then wow, I got to change my dialogue in some arenas. Because I was, especially when I'm alone and I spill the milk and it's catastrophe, we call ourselves all sorts of things. But when we can be more creative in our name calling for ourselves and go, you are a genius in the way that you do things. Even in your challenges, you are a genius. And watch what happens. That aha experience. When was the last time you had an aha? Like a really oh, that's how that works. It's a phenomenal point to be at. That quantum leap in consciousness. And, quantum theory is, it's very complex. It's about all these unlimited amounts of possibilities that collapse into this moment because we believe it. That if we're going to look away, you guys really aren't here. It's only here because we've agreed to have this moment. It's very interesting to think about. But we're all here together because there's something more to know. There's something more to be revealed. So what is it that is your dream? What is your contact with the infinite? What has not been completed in your life? And we all have incompletes. And if you ever think you're going to get it all done, well, continue. Because there's more to do. There's always more to do. So we can rest. That feeling of not getting it all done, like, oh, I didn't get it done. Just put that aside because you're never going to get it all done. But there is something about completion. But it's like doing an art project and you're getting to the end of it and you feel almost sad because you're going to be done with it. You've got to start another art project. You've got to create another song. You have to paint another picture. Because you're always creating. That little hook up there means that it's forever continuing to create. You can't stop thinking. Well, in conclusion, this week, listen to your inner wisdom. Listen to your inner guidance system and wait for it. Actually invite it in and say, I'm going to make time to listen to my inner guidance system today and be in alignment with it. Walk in nature or whatever works for you, sitting in your meditation spot and just being still. Be still and know who and what you truly are. And from that, life springs eternal. So it is. Amen.